Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay, guys.
It's beautiful to
It's
be live
beautiful
here
to be live
again.
here again.
We are live on
We
this
are
live
live on
stream.
this live.
Let me see if I can
Let me see if
find
I can
the
find
link
the
so that
link so that
it's
it's beautiful live. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it so that live. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it so that. Yes.
I think you are holding your phone in your hand. I think that's what is causing this issue. Can you, I don't know.
Can you? I don't know. Okay, 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 okay.
Maybe just
Maybe
focus on the one that
just
is in
focus
front
on the
of
one
you.
that is in front of you. Is that?
I hope it,
I
you
hope
know, I
it.
think it's
No, I
still,
think it's still.
but I've sent you a link.
But I've sent
I've
you a
sent you a
link.
link
I've
on
sent
your
you a
message
link on
check
your message
so that you
that
can
you
invite
can
people.
invite people. Okay.
All right, guys. So
All
it's a
right, guys.
beautiful
So it's a
evening
beautiful
again,
again,
and we are live
and
right
we
now.
are live right now.
I have with me
I
another
have with
guest
me another guest
on this
on this
conversation. His name
conversation.
is
His name
Victor.
is
Victor Chibuna.
Victor
He's
Chibula.
going
He's
to
going to
sharing with us
share with
how
us
before you
how
buy
before you
the
buy
next
the next
property in
property
Nigeria.
in Nigeria.
Victor doesn't want
Victor
anybody to
doesn't want
fall
anybody
prey
to
to
fall
scams
prey to scams
because a lot of scammers
because a
all
lot
over
of
the place.
scammers all over the
People who
place.
sell lands,
People
people
who
who
sell
resell
lands, people who resell
properties,
properties,
and the whole lot. So
and the whole
Victor
lot.
really
So Victor
has written a book about
has
that,
written a book about that,
so that we understand
so that
all
we
the
understand
pitfalls and
all the
all the
pitfalls and
things
all
that
the
are happening around the real
that are happening
estate
around the real
regarding
estate
buying
regarding
real estate in
buying real
Nigeria.
estate
Victor,
in
you're welcome.
Nigeria. Victor, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Emeka.
All right, guys. So if
All
you're
right,
tuning
guys.
in,
So if you're
I have
tuning
with
in,
me
I have
Victor on this
Victor
live stream
on this
this
live
evening,
stream this evening,
and Victor is going to be
and
sharing
Victor is going to be
from his
sharing from
latest work
latest
before
work
you buy the
before you
next
buy the
property in
next
Nigeria.
property in here.
Looks to be a very
Looks
great
to be a very
conversation.
great conversation.
So I invite all of you
So
to
I
sit
invite
down
all of you to sit
and
down
be part of this
and be part
conversation.
of this
If you're
conversation. If you're
joining us in
joining us
the
in
conversation,
the
please
conversation,
invite
please
your friends, those
invite
who
your
are in
friends,
real estate,
those who
those
are
who
in
want
real
to get
estate,
into real
those
estate, those who want to buy
those
property.
who want to buy property.
Share live stream, share
Share
the
live
live stream,
stream, share the
share
live
possibly the
share
screen,
the screen,
and just tap
and
it,
just tap it,
and you
and
will take the live
you
stream
will
to
take
your
the
own
live stream
audience.
audio.
We look forward to you doing
Look
that.
forward
All
to you
right,
doing that.
so
All right,
let's
so
get the ball
let's get
rolling.
the ball rolling.
Yeah, somebody's saying the
Yeah,
Victor's
somebody's saying the
voices are
Victor's
echoing. I don't know
are
why.
echoing.
What's
I don't know
causing
why.
this?
What?
Let me check.
My voice. Let me check. Okay.
Hello, Victor. Victor, can you hear me clearly?
Victor, can you hear me clearly? Very clearly, yes, I can.
My voice is still
My
echoing.
voice is still echoing.
Hmm. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes, can you hear me now? Very clear. Very clear. Very clear.
Victor, I think this problem is
Victor, I
from your
think this
end.
problem is from your end. Okay, could it be this earpiece?
Can you remove the earpiece and let's
Can you
check?
remove the earpiece and let's check?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Yes, I can hear you.
It's still the same
Is it
thing.
still echoing? It's still the same thing. Oh my God.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
I don't
go
know
ahead.
why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why this is
I
happening,
don't
but
know
go
why this
ahead
is happening, but go ahead
and share.
and share. Okay, I can proceed.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Emeka, can I proceed?
Yes, proceed. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Hello and welcome everybody tuned into this live stream. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're very welcome once again to this live stream. My name is Victor Chibuna. I'm a real estate consultant resident here in Nigeria. And yes, I am on this live to do a very brief book review on my recent book project. Like Mr. Emeka already started, the name of my book is titled Before You Buy Your Next Property, Real Estate in Nigeria. Before you buy the next property, real estate. You see, this is a very important live section, and I want to encourage every one of us to share this live stream to our friends, our relations, our families, and whosoever we feel needs to get the information that I'm going to be dispensing on this live. So let's go ahead and share to everybody connected to us. So jumping into my book, the book, like I already started saying, is Before You Buy the Next Property. And the subtitle of the book is The Secrets You Must Know. The secrets you must know to have a scam-free real estate investment journey in Nigeria. The secrets you must know to have a scam-free real estate investment journey in Nigeria. I began by doing an introduction on the book. I did an introduction. I took my time to explain the kind of father that fathered me growing up as a child. My dad got his first property. He acquired his first property when I was still a suckling child. Yeah. And when I was still a suckling child, as a young banker. And then after that, in recent years, he has acquired so many properties, both investment-wise and development-wise. And one of the things that has stood out, one significant thing that has stood out is the fact that I've never had my dad complain about property issues, investment issues. And that's simply because he's a very careful and a learned person. And the reason why every one of us on this life can vividly testify to how that either yourself, who is on this life, or a relation or a friend would have gotten scammed on a real estate investment adventure, just somehow or the other. You can vividly say that you've experienced real estate scams in Nigeria. It's prevalent, both from the locals, from the village. Land issues happen to be 80% of court cases, land issues. If you go to the court, you can get to visit the court and you realize that majority of cases that are handled in the courts are land-related matters. And why is this so? So many people jump into investing without the right investment knowledge. You don't have any reason, I will say it again, you don't have any reason to fall for any form of scam navigating your way through the Nigerian real estate market. The only reason you'll be falling for a scam is because you have not been careful to go for the right investment knowledge. And it's as simple as that. Everybody connected to you who would have experienced some level of scam, experienced such simply because he jumped into investing out of excitement. And there's a lot more. I began talking to us about my biological dad. I've never, not one of his property has fallen victim to the prevalent real estate issues in Nigeria. And it's simply, there's nothing spectacular about him aside the fact that he's quite a careful and intentional man. And this is really important. This is really important. So the major reason I got on this book, it took me so much sleepless nights to create this work. I can tell you for a fact. Some people connected to me on a personal note can tell you this, and that's because of the passion I have. The Nigerian real estate market is at its booming point, and that's the truth. And so many people are shying away from leveraging from the possibilities in this sector simply because of past issues that they've experienced investment-wise. And if you give it a critical look, you could just realize that it's people not being painstaking enough to do what is important, what they should do. You don't just jump on getting a property because you feel you have the resources, or because you know one, or because one came up as a distress sale. There's a whole lot. So I think I'm done with the introduction. I'll be moving straight to the main body of work. The book has 11 chapters. The book has 11 chapters where I took my time to expose some investment secrets, and I'll be touching each and every one of them briefly. Chapter 1, I started chapter 1 explaining what real estate is really. Explained what real estate. I'm sure some of us know that real estate is considered as real property, which includes land and anything permanently attached to it or built on it, whether natural or man-made. That's what real estate is. So we can't be talking about real estate and what we should do to avoid being scammed without even understanding what real estate actually means. So in chapter 1, I took my time to explain what real estate is and the types of real estate. And that is what I took my time to expound on in this first chapter. And in chapter 2, I took my time to also explain why you should invest in the Nigerian real estate market as a foreigner or a Nigerian in diaspora. Why you should invest in the Nigerian real estate market as a foreigner or a Nigerian in diaspora. I know that some of us know that according to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's real estate sector accounted for 6.39% of the country's GDP in 2020. That's around $7.3 billion. While a report by Business Day reveals that Nigeria has attracted the largest real estate investment in Africa, attracting over 523 million investments into the sector in the past 2 decades. And research shows that Nigeria's present housing deficit stands at more than 20 million units. Nigeria's present housing deficit stands at more than 20 million units, the highest in Africa. Let me explain further. According to World Bank, Nigeria has an urban population growth of 4.1%. Nigeria has an urban population growth of 4.1%, with about 52% of the country's population living in urban areas. And then the Department of Economic and Social Affairs reports suggested that around 700,000 housing units will have to be built every year in Nigeria to keep up with the steady growth and the demand for housing. The population of the country keeps increasing outrageously by the day. And we need 700 each year for us to bridge this gap, the 20 million units, the deficit. We need to build 700, you can imagine the number, 700,000. So you can see the opportunities are obvious and mind-blowing. If you can intelligently navigate the real estate sector of Nigeria, you'll be wowed. There's so much profit to be made, and you don't have any reason to shy away. And that's why I got on this book project. So I'm done with chapter 2. Every other detail you need to get concerning this information is contained on the book. Every other. every other, I took my time to explain so many things in this chapter. And then in chapter 3, I went ahead to further corroborate on why you should understand the Nigerian property market a lot better. Chapter 3, I treated understanding the Nigerian property market. And you can't begin investing in a sector you don't have an understanding of. You don't just jump in. So I took my time to explain so many things that every interested investor needs to understand about the Nigerian property market. And then chapter 4 is a very interesting chapter. Chapter 4 is a very interesting chapter. Chapter 4, I treated the most important legal principle you should know. The most important legal principle you should know before buying any property in Nigeria. The most important. Oh my God. You can't talk about buying real estate in Nigeria. You can't talk about investing in real estate. You can't talk about investing in real estate if you don't know this legal principle. You don't know this legal principle. Firstly, I'll start by I'm explaining that there's a legal principle that every interested investor must take note of. And there's a Latin maxim which some of us here are familiar with. And then the Latin maxim is termed nemo dat quod non habit. Nemo dat quod non habit is a Latin maxim. And that simply means that you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. It's kind of confusing because somebody here will be asking, how does this relate to this topic? Okay. One cannot transfer title in land. One cannot transfer title in any piece of property if the title has not been vested on the person. One cannot transfer title in land if the title has not been vested in the person. Very important, very important. So we have a lot of cases where people camouflage type property documents and begin to sell fake lands to people that they don't have. And there's a way around it. One who doesn't have title on the land cannot transfer it to you, and you can't rejoice with the fact that you bought the property when you've not done your due diligence to be sure that the person you're buying the property is actually vested with ownership. If he's not vested with ownership, he cannot transfer title to you. He cannot transfer the ownership to you. I'm sure that is clear. So there's a whole lot I expounded on this chapter that every one of us needs to know. It will save you from, oh my God, it will save you from losing several billions in dollars unnecessarily. So that is the more reason you need to get this book. You need this book. If you are an interested investor, it's not for everybody. No. The book is for interested really investors who are ready to take advantage of the booming Nigerian real estate market. So every other thing you need to know about this legal maxim and how it relates to this book is on the chapter. So get the book so that you can get to understand that. So in chapter 5, I wrote on factors to consider before choosing a real estate lawyer for your property transactions. Factors to consider before choosing a real estate lawyer for your property transactions. You see, this book is a whole lot. This book will save you from so many mistakes. Yes, we understand that there's massive profit in the real estate sector of Nigeria, but no, you need knowledge before jumping in. Don't Don't jump into an investment decision out of excitement and lose your hard-earned millions, simply because of some level of ignorance. So I spoke on the fact you don't just choose. Okay, let me just raise a little thing from this chapter. You don't just choose a real estate lawyer. You don't just make a random choice. Every lawyer is not a real estate lawyer. Every lawyer. Lawyers in Nigeria have their specialties. We have criminal lawyers. We have, I don't want to begin to mention them, but I'm sure you know of that. You know this detail. Lawyers have their area of specialization. So if you are a lawyer who doesn't have an understanding of the Nigerian real estate market, does not have any business getting involved in your real estate investment decision. He doesn't, because he doesn't have the right knowledge to guide you on this. He doesn't. So, because the lawyer is your family member or your brother or your sister, and he's not a real estate lawyer or rather a property lawyer, does not. You don't make decisions emotionally. It's nothing. If he doesn't understand property law, he will make mistakes that will cost, even when he's a lawyer. So there's a whole lot you need to know on how you should choose your property lawyer. Again, let me reemphasize, every lawyer does not have an understanding of property transactions in Nigeria because they have their areas of specialization. Okay, every other detail you need is on the chapter, and that's the more reason you need to get the book. Get the book. So in chapter 6, I wrote on the basic things you must know about Nigerian land titles and documents. The basic things you must know about Nigerian land titles and documents. And I briefly scratched the Land Use Act of 1978 on this chapter. I exposed a whole lot that every interested investor needs to know. The basic things you must know about the Nigerian land titles, land titles and documents. And before I move to the next chapter, I just want to explain something. You cannot begin jumping into investing. You cannot begin jumping into investing in the Nigerian real estate market without having basic, not the deep part of it, basic understanding of Nigerian real estate laws. And the truth is that real estate law in Nigeria is the foundation of real estate transactions. Real estate law is the foundation of real estate. If you don't have an understanding, some basic understanding of the Nigerian property law, you are bound to make mistakes. You're bound to make mistakes. You need to understand title documents and context. You need to understand title documents. You need to understand land titles and everything. Everything I clearly spelled it out. You need to understand what a C of O is. A C of O is. You need to understand what an R of O. This is prevalent in locations like Abuja, a right of occupancy. You need to understand this land title, the governor's consent, the excision, and gazette. These are all land titles. I don't want to begin to expose what I shouldn't expose. But get the book. Get the book. You need this knowledge. A survey plan. I've seen a whole lot in this sector. I've seen a whole lot. And people, it pains me that people who would have profited massively from intelligent investment decision lost out because they just make a very minor investment mistakes. And that's bad. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. I don't want to spell out everything, but everything you need to know is on this chapter. Get the book, chapter 6. So, right in chapter 7, I took this chapter 6 happened to be the longest chapter because I took my time to explain so many things. So in chapter 7, I spoke on what you must know. I wrote on what you must know about land sizes. in Nigeria. What you must know about land sizes, land sizes, land sizes. What you must know about land sizes. It might look unimportant, but this is really important. I will say no further. Everything you need to know is on the chapter 7. And in chapter 8, I wrote on what every Nigerian in diaspora must know before investing in Nigeria. You see, this particular chapter has a whole lot to do to me. Like, it's an emotional chapter for me because I know so many Nigerians who have made grievous mistakes because of making emotional investment decisions. The chapter is what every Nigerian in diaspora, if you're a Nigerian overseas, if you're a Nigerian in the US, in the UK, in Australia, and in wherever you are in the world, there's a whole lot you need to know. You don't choose a brother or sister of one of the very, 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 okay, let me just open up a bit about this chapter. One of the very obvious mistakes Nigerians in diaspora make is that each time they feel they've amassed some level of resources, the next thing that comes into their mind is reaching out to a relation, a friend, or a well-wisher to help them purchase a property. That is a serious mistake. You don't make that kind of mistake. No. You don't make that kind of mistake. That is your brother. If he or she doesn't understand the real estate sector, he will buy you a bad property. That will make you lose all your. I have an understanding of what it costs to build some level of financial capacity there overseas, and then how will you go through all this pain and then at the end lose it emotionally? Don't make emotional that he's your brother, he's your sister, he's your friend, he's your pastor, sir. He's your pastor. Does not make him qualified to help you get the property. I've seen so many things. I've seen cases where even the person that helped them acquire the property finally sells it along. Oh, it's a funny experience. Finally sells it along the line when he gets broke. And then in your mind, you're investing. I've even seen cases, so many of them, where in Nigeria and in diaspora sent huge sums of money to a relation, a friend or whatever, to get on a development project. And rather than developing his project, rather than developing the project of the Nigerian in diaspora, the relation he reached out to is developing it for himself. So many funny cases. And there's just a way around it. There's a way around it. Well, let's move to the next chapter so that you see other things. So everything is on this chapter. Get this book. The book is going for just 20,000 naira. It's a complete small change compared to what you're going to lose, what you're going to lose when you make a mistake. Imagine the several millions you make if you don't have the knowledge shared on this book. That is just going for 20,000 naira. That's about get this book. 20,000 naira is very significant. So I made it extremely cheap, extremely affordable for every interested investor in Nigeria. So in chapter 9, I took my time to explain why you need the services of a real estate consultant before investing in Nigeria's real estate market. There's a major secret on this chapter. No, I'm not saying it. Go get the book. Why you need the services of a real estate consultant before investing in Nigeria's real estate market. That's chapter 9. And then the penultimate chapter, which is chapter 10, the paradox of cheap lands. The penultimate chapter is the paradox of cheap lands and why your fascination for cheap lands and certain locations will make you fall for scammers. The paradox of cheap lands. Why your unhealthy fascination for cheap lands in certain locations in Nigeria will make you fall for scammers. Okay, let me just intimate us on some brief things I spoke about on this chapter. You see, I've seen several cases where people jumped on an investment decision. People jumped on acquiring a property because they heard it is cheap. Locations differ, and as locations differ, prices differ. The truth of the matter is that you cannot see a cheap property in a densely populated location within the country. If anybody tells you, like, let me just use Abuja, Nigeria for an example. There are locations in Abuja, Nigeria, where you can get a plot of land of 465 square meters. Listen to me, please. Listen to me very carefully. There's some locations in Abuja, Nigeria, where you can get a land size of 465 square meters for as little as 4.5 million. As little and as insignificant as 4.5 million naira. There are locations. And there are also locations within Nigeria, within Abuja, Nigeria, where you still get the same plot size of 465 square meters for 500 million naira. For 500 million naira. Can you see the difference? And all these things are subject to some environmental factors. I don't know if this is clear. So if somebody begins to sell a property that is supposed to be worth around 500 million naira for 4.5 million naira to you, that's a clear scam. And how do you know if it is a clear scam if you don't have an understanding? If you don't have a guide, if you don't have a real estate consultant who is well abreast, who has thorough understanding of the environment and locations? You just see a cheap land, oh, it's cheap. Distress sale, very, very prevalent comment in this sector. Distress, if it is in my local dialect, Igbo, does it? The property not distress. Only choro the property choro. It goes sharp. Simply, what the person explaining it just simply means that the person wants to sell the property on a distress sale because maybe he has an emergency. And this is where people smile. Oh, it's an emergency. He's holding him in his neck in our Igbo dialect, Ojianodu, and then you jump. you jump and get the property. There's a clear scam. It is only a scammer that will sell a property to you that should be worth a significant amount for a cheaper amount. So understand this. So there are so many other things you need to know concerning this that I spelled out on this 10th chapter. And get the book so that you will know this for yourself. You will know this for yourself. And then in chapter 11, which is the final chapter before I get on with some of the things I want to explain to us about the book. In chapter 11, I wrote on how a foreigner can acquire. Okay, the topic of the chapter is, can a foreigner own a property in Nigeria? Can a foreigner own a property in Nigeria? And then my response was yes, these are the processes. And this is all about chapter 11. And I don't want to say anything concerning that. If you're a Nigerian in diaspora, no. Rather, if you're a foreigner, you're a Ghanaian, you're a citizen of the US, you're a citizen of UK and any other country of the world, and you want to own a property in Nigeria, everything you need to know about, every basic thing you need to know about the processes are clearly spelled out on this chapter. So I think I'm done with the books. You see, this book will save you from a whole lot of mistakes, a whole lot of mistakes. And I will encourage you, don't have any reason. Like I said at the earlier point of this live section, the Nigerian real estate market is at its booming point, and you don't have to shy away from it simply because of past experiences, simply because of the ugly experiences that either yourself, your relation, or a friend of yours has experienced. Can I tell you the truth? The reason they experienced that level of inconvenience was simply because they didn't go for the right knowledge. And that is why I was burdened to get on this book project. This book project, I can tell you for a fact that it has cost me a lot. And there was some level of sacrifice I had to put up to save us from shying away from tapping into the booming Nigerian real estate market because of past ugly experiences. So it's important that you get this book if you are an interested investor in Nigeria. I can tell you that if you get this book, it will save you from several mistakes. And I'm not only recommending it to everyone on this live section. I'm not only recommending to just the people on this live section. I'm encouraging you to share this live stream to anybody, everybody who you believe should get this knowledge. Everybody who you believe is interested in profiting from the real estate market of Nigeria. Everybody, share it to them. And anybody who is every interested investor will appreciate you for such show of love. So share this live stream. Get this live stream across to everybody who you feel needs. Do you have a relation in diaspora, a friend in diaspora, a friend in the US, in the UK, wherever country, in China, in India, any country of the world that is interested in profiting from the Nigerian real estate market that is currently at its booming point? Share this live stream. Encourage him or her to get the book. It's very, very, very cheap, very affordable. I made it so for your benefit. So it's important that you get the right knowledge before investing in the Nigerian real estate market. Once again, my name is Victor Chibuna. I'm a real estate consultant resident here in Nigeria, and everything you need to know about me is online. You can Google my profile. You can just take your phone, Google Victor Chibuna on your whatever search engine you use. Google Victor Chibuna to get to know a lot more about me. I'm here to insist and ensure that you make safe and profitable investment decisions in the booming Nigerian real estate market. I am here to ensure that you make safe, which is most important, and then profitable investment decisions in the Nigerian real estate market. And I'm your real estate guide. You can reach out to me. If you look out for me on social media, my contact is everywhere. You can reach out to me personally, get my number. If you're really interested in taking advantage of the sector, the real estate sector, you can just reach out to me from any of my social media handles. I'm Victor Chibuna on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. These are the major platforms that I am on. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can also search me up on YouTube. I have 1 or 2 videos there on YouTube that can also educate you further. So do well to reach out. Are you also interested in acquiring any property? Are you interested in taking advantage of the real estate market of Nigeria for your profit? You can also reach out. Wherever in Nigeria, that is my profession. In Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, in Enugu, in Imo State, wherever in Nigeria, you want to get a property, have the contact. And I am thorough with this. This is my field, and you can always be assured of the safety and sustainability of your property transactions. Once again, I am Victor Chibuna, and I appreciate every one of you on this live section, and I encourage you to share it to as many as you believe need to get the information, both on this live section and on the book. If you're interested, an interested investor, pay for the book. Very cheap, 20,000 naira. I think we are done with this section. Hello, Mr. Emeka Nobles. I believe there could be questions. There could be questions.
Well, guys, if
Well,
there are
guys, if there are questions,
please drop your questions.
please drop your questions. My voice
please drop your questions in the comment section
so that
Victor can answer your
you can answer your questions.
Any questions? Any questions?
Okay.
Okay.
Please, if you've got questions for
Please,
Victor,
if you've got questions for Victor,
drop in the comment section.
drop in the comment section now.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Are there any questions? Mr. Emeka, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As well, I know there are so many people that due to their schedule, they are not going to be able to meet up with the live section currently. So anybody who is interested, who has a question, can also reach out to me, inbox. Can reach out to me on any of my social media handles personally, because there are questions that I can't even be able to completely cover on this live stream. There are questions that are peculiar to certain environments that I cannot, and that will need some level of depth. So I think anybody that will get to see the live, to watch the live later, can reach out to me inbox with every of his or her question.
All right. So thank you so much. For those who are going to rewatch
the live,
they will also reach out. I'm also going to make a post.
Oh, thank you so much.
So send me all the details and all that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
For
being part of the live stream. God bless everybody. And have a beautiful
Yeah.